My father and I are motorcycle enthusiasts. Hell, when I was 9 years old, he got arrested for child endangerment because he was riding me on the back of his Harley Davidson. And me personally, I started riding dirt bikes at age 13 and competed in events. So when I say that my father and I are enthusiasts, we are truly motorcycle enthusiasts. Riding motorbikes is a way of life for us. And when the Polaris slingshot came out, man, we were excited. Dad, through his contacts, got the hookup. And we were able to get one of the slingshots prior to them even going on sale, straight from the factory to our home. And talk about being excited. We were like two kids in the candy store. My dad and I took this thing everywhere, and we loved how people looked at us because at that point in time, nobody knew exactly what it was. It was so fresh and so new. Our Dogman encounter happened right on Highway 121 in Louisiana. Dad and I had been rolling along, and we were looking for some roadways that wouldn't have heavy traffic so we could really open the slingshot up. That's when we turned off 121 down Lake Road. After we made a right turn, Dad floored it. And man, were we moving. The twists and the turns on this road were absolutely perfect. They were very gradual, so we didn't have much to worry about. Absolutely no traffic at all. We were in motorcycle heaven. Dad and I drove those back roads all day long. Basically what we were doing was breaking the law, speeding at every opportunity we got. He was being a road hog and taking up all the driving time, so I signaled for him to pull over. Now, I can't exactly tell you the mile marker that we stopped at, but I can tell you what was around us when we pulled over. We had just passed some campgrounds and stopped in this little fork in the road. Ahead of us was a bridge, and we were surrounded by trees. As Dad and I started to switch places, I took my helmet off and grabbed a bottle of water from the back seat and began to circle around the vehicle. That's when I noticed this deer standing on the side of the road. It was odd and strange because the slingshot was still running. And typically when deers hear vehicles running in the middle of the day, they scamper back off into the woods. But this deer was just standing there, staring into the wood line. It was almost like it was in some kind of trance. That's when I heard this sound coming from the woods. It was this heavy movement, like something was running, but it was coming fast, real fast through the trees. That's when this deer turned around, took off across the road. It jumped over the guardrail and down off the side of the bridge. Then, the biggest dog I've ever seen in my life comes barreling through the trees. And when I say barreling, it's coming through the air, breaking tree branches, and lands in the middle of the road. Then in one leap, it jumps over the guardrail itself and down off the side of the bridge. For a minute, I stood there in shock because I thought I was hallucinating. But when my dad started pushing me, saying, "Get in the car, get in," I realized that he saw it too. Then you could hear this screeching sound of this deer crying out in pain. I never heard anything like that in my life. Followed by silence, dead silence, no birds chirping, no nothing. I was still halfway in the driver's side when my dad said, "Hey, get the in, let's go." We spun the vehicle around and headed back in the opposite direction to 121. When we got off the back roads, I asked my dad, "What was that?" When we got home, I became curious about what this creature was, so I started to look it up on the internet. And that's how I found you, Dog Waters. And I shared my story with you.